A lot of the what I've heard, villages are in very like remote areas, and I'm sure it's going to be very difficult for rescue operations to get to those people and to also get to those people in time that really need the help. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a big difficulty. I could even see in Marrakesh that the ambulances were definitely on high alert, and you can see them racing down the streets every other minute.
Let's get some more on the earthquake in Morocco, which has killed at least 296 people. Lena Voelk is a journalist in Marrakesh. Lena, thank you for joining us. Can you just describe what you experienced and what has happened exactly?
Hi, thank you for having me. So basically, I'm on holiday here at the moment, and we were just sitting on the rooftop of our hotel. And all of a sudden, everything started shaking. I have to admit, we were a bit confused at first, not really sure what it was, and tried to head for cover, which turns out is not necessarily, or at least not where we tried to hide, wasn't necessarily what you're supposed to do. But yes, everything started shaking, and when it stopped, the guy next to us prayed, and when it stopped, you can see like a I guess like a cloud of dust rising above the city. And when it settled down a couple of seconds, and you heard like people screaming in the streets, and then we had headed down and tried to get into open space to get away from buildings, because obviously there can be injury from collapsing buildings. Yeah.
And in terms of what you can see by way of the impact of the earthquake and from what you have gathered, perhaps from others nearby, just explain to us the impact that this has had.
Well, definitely, just from what I could see myself, there's definitely been a lot of damage to buildings in the streets, and a lot of bricks in the streets. We also saw people being injured, or like injured people being carried out in what looked like a rug, being carried out of buildings, and waiting in the streets to get an ambulance. And a lot of families and children in their pajamas standing outside, waiting for what's going to happen next. Also, I think what really kind of shook me personally as well is that the fear of, is there going to be an aftershock? Is there going to be something else? Is there going to be another earthquake? Because you're kind of standing in the street and just waiting for what's to happen, but you don't really know if something's going to happen or when it's going to happen. Yeah.
The US Geological Survey says that the epicenter was in the Atlas Mountains, so that's about 43 miles from Marrakesh, and a lot of the buildings that have been destroyed are south of Marrakesh as well. What can you tell us, Lena, about, I suppose, the rescue, the recovery operation, and how difficult that will be? I suppose if the epicenter is in a mountain region, it could be quite difficult to reach places that have been affected.
Yeah, most certainly. A lot of the what I've heard, villages are in very like remote areas, and I'm sure it's going to be very difficult for rescue operations to get to those people, and to also get to those people in time that really need the help. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a big difficulty. I could even see in Marrakesh that the ambulances were definitely on high alert, and you can see them racing down the streets every other minute or so, which obviously, given that there's a lot of injuries and also unfortunately a lot of deaths.
Lena, thank you very much. Thank you for speaking to us. We appreciate you taking the time after a difficult night for you and for those near you as well. Lena, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you.
That is Lena Voelk, a journalist in Marrakesh.